This year is also the 20th anniversary of the genocide in Srebrenica, Bosnia. Hence the theme, keep the memory alive. We need to talk about some things we may prefer not to, if we are to learn lessons from the past. We should not forget the human cost that the Holocaust and subsequent genocides has brought to us over the years. As the years go by, there will be less people who can speak from experience about the Holocaust. And so we need to make the most of every opportunity to hear their testimony. Listen to their memories in honour of the survivors and those who died. Today we listen to speakers who all have their own unique experiences to tell us about. Our first speaker is the Lord Mayor of Coventry, Councillor Hazel Noonan. Please listen as she tells us what Holocaust Memorial Day means to her.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. We all need to better understand the long-term effects of such genocide. The bad memories and the heartaches does not go away when such conflicts end. In 2008, I spent 2 weeks in Rwanda as part of a social action project, assisting at an orphanage for over 400 children. Many were then teenagers who had been left orphans as babies in the Rwandan genocide of 1993. Others were orphans as a result of the diseases like AIDS. I saw there firsthand where communities, where most people within that community had either been a victim of the genocide by losing family members, receiving injuries or persecution themselves, or had been a perpetrator, taking the part in the killing of almost 1 million people in 100 days, where neighbours, friends from school, work colleagues were all in conflict with each other. Numbers of those who lost their lives, with lots of noughts on the end, don't always show the true effect that these genocides have on the people, the communities, and even the country. But it is the individual stories that tell so much. Attending the various memorials in Rwanda, seeing the preserved bodies lying in a school where people had gone for safety, seeing their legs broken so they couldn't run away before they were murdered, survivors with leg and facial deformities showing scars from their injuries that they had survived from. The tour guide at a museum showing us all a wall covered with photos of the many who had died. And as we left the room, he walked across the room, pointed to one of the photos and said, "This was my mother." We need to remember so we can help communities from whatever country, from whatever community, work together to all lead better lives together. To remember the past, but also to look positively to the future. Talking about the terrible things that happened during the Holocaust and the genocides that has happened since gives us all a chance to see the reality of how society can break down. If we understand the roots of discrimination and hatred, if we remind ourselves that each person has a value and we respect human rights, equal opportunities and good citizenship, then hatred and bigotry will have no hold over us. Thank you all for listening, and thank you all for playing your part here today in keeping the memory alive.
And to see so many people stopping and listening and then moving on. Lord Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great privilege to be in your magnificent city and to talk to you briefly. You may just pause, stop to listen, and then move on. Does not matter. We're here to remember the atrocities of past decades. As you probably know, Holocaust Memorial Day was initiated in 2001 with a vision to remember all suffering and genocides that have taken place in our recent history. Shameful as it is, the remembering of these important genocides and massacres, in particular the war in Darfur and Bosnia, are vital to our task today. Tensions and fighting continues in the regions of Darfur at the present time. Civil unrest has remained in place between north and south for more than a decade. The Bosnian War is especially remembered this year, as it is now 20 years since the cessation of fighting in that region. July the 1st, 1995 was the horrendous massacre of Srebrenica, when the number of around 100,000 people were killed. You know, we need to reflect with horror at such atrocities.
Genocide that happened in Srebrenica, where nearly 8,000 Muslim men and boys over 13 years of age were murdered. Many were shot in fields as they tried to run away. 1,500 of them were locked in a warehouse and sprayed with machine gun fire and grenades. It's not pleasant reading. But if we are to learn anything, then we need to know what happened so we can prevent it from ever happening again. Miriam Oster said, "Education and remembrance are the only cures for hatred and bigotry." I would now like to invite Pauline Finn, Deputy Head at St John Fisher Catholic Primary School, to read through the list of those affected by the Holocaust and ongoing genocides. Then the children from the school will sing Light of the World, which reflects a positive message of today. As Pauline reads the list, can you please do something for us? Can you hold up your programmes with a candle facing towards the stage as a symbol of our unity, saying we will keep the memory alive?
And those affected by more recent genocides, including 2 million in Cambodia, Rwanda, where 1 million people were killed in 100 days, Bosnia, where 20 years ago over 7,500 Muslim men and boys were murdered in fields, playgrounds and warehouses. Darfur, where the civil war had led to the death of between 200,000 and 400,000 civilians, and over 2.5 million people are displaced and living in refugee camps. Keep the memory alive. Please listen as the children from my school, St John Fisher, sing the song Light of the World. This song reminds us how light can guide us in times of darkness. These children are the next generation who need to learn lessons from the past to protect their future. I give you the children of St John Fisher.